So as kind of a special kickoff today, I'd like to invite 3 former OpenStreetMap US board members and community members, passionate OpenStreetMap enthusiasts to the virtual stage. I've personally had the opportunity to work with each of these amazing folks in my former role as board member and currently as executive director, and I'm grateful for them all. First, I'd like to invite Ian Dees to join us on camera. Ian served on the first board way back, voted in their roles in September 2010, where he helped to incorporate OpenStreetMap US and for the first ever State of the Map US in Atlanta, Georgia that fall. Ian served on the board again, starting in 2013 and served 7 more terms through 2020, supporting the transition to a staff-driven organization and most of his time on the board serving as the board treasurer. And I want to remind you, at that time, there were no paid staff, which means Ian did a lot of the heavy lifting for the organization, unsung kind of hero work that people don't see from the outside. So Ian now serves on the OSM US Governance Committee, and you've likely seen him on Slack as he continues to support the community from behind the scenes. So welcome, Ian.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Next, we have Martijn van Exel. You want to come on it, Martijn? I can't see my screen, so you might be here already. You may know Martijn as the creator of Map Roulette, but you may not know that Martijn was also one of the first board members when OpenStreetMap US was formed, joining board service in 2011, serving 6 terms until 2017. He took a little break, which is encouraged, and then served again in 2020 and 2021. Martijn has been a dedicated and steady presence in OSM community and continues to advocate and support the project through his continued work in Map Roulette and leading OSM Salt Lake City. Thanks, Martijn. And finally, Minh. If you haven't met Minh on the OSM US Slack, I'm very surprised. Minh is one of those community members that is always quick with an answer or encouragement when you need it. Minh started board service in 2020 and served for 4 terms until 2023, serving as board president and supporting the transition from a working board to a staff-supported organization. Minh continues to support OpenStreetMap in many ways, including his work on the Americana and Open Historical Map projects, and also as I proclaim a flagpole mapping expert. So before we look forward in the coming sessions, I've asked these amazing folks to share a bit about the days of OSM and OSM US past. So looking back and sharing their observations and reflections from all their time in the community. So thanks to them. Thanks to all of you for spending time with us this weekend. And I hope you have a fantastic Mapping USA.
Thanks, Maggie. Excited to be here. It's always fun to have Mapping USA's 5th time already, 15th year of OpenStreetMap US. So we get this amazing opportunity to look back for a moment with some amazing folks here. So let's talk a little bit about those early days. Like Ian, I want to start with you. You were on that board like 15 years ago. Paint us a little picture. What was the OSM community like back then? What were folks up to, and what made you want to step up as a board member at the time?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I was looking through the mailing lists back around then when OpenStreetMap US started, and it was really familiar. There were a lot of the same sort of conversations that continue to happen today. A lot of questions about how tagging works and how to participate more and how to be part of the community. And so it's kind of interesting to see that the same sort of things continue to happen today, which is really great. I think these are all strengths of the OpenStreetMap community generally, and the friendliness that I've seen in OpenStreetMap US community in particular still shines. Back in the day, I think there was a lot of interest in trying to get as many folks to participate in OpenStreetMap as possible. The OpenStreetMap US organization started because we were trying to figure out how to convince, basically we wanted to have a road trip. It's interesting that Mapping USA's logo is a road trip this time, but A couple of the very initial folks who were excited about running this organization, Kate and Thea, really wanted to have a road trip across the US. They wanted to have an organization that they could use to buy a car or a van or a truck and drive across the US holding mapping parties at every chance they could. And Thea she was able to sort of do that through her work at CloudMade and wanted to be able to continue doing that as a kind of a volunteer slash a paid effort, basically. And so that was kind of the impetus for starting this, I think. And of course, that's kind of a very specific thing, but I think over time it has gotten to be much more than just a desire to have a road trip. I think now it is grown to trying to include everyone in, especially in the United States, but just kind of promoting OpenStreetMap generally. So I think the roots of OpenStreetMap US are in that vein, and you can tell still.
We should say we asked Kate to join us also, but she wasn't able to, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be fun. But we have some good folks here. Minh, so back to you. Like, so Ian already alluded to that OSM US has continued to change and evolve. You've been on the board at a fairly transitional period of professionalization, where Maggie came on as an executive director, and the role of the board kind of changed, and your role changed as a board member. Can you reflect a little bit on that? Like, how did it change the role of the board and your job, and what are you able to do after versus before? Is that something you can talk about a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I came in exactly at the time when so like I actually filled Maggie's seat when she stepped into an executive director position. So I actually, you know, like for all the wonderful things that Maggie just said about you and Ian, you know, taking on all these things, having seen this from the inside, this just is so it's amazing that you were able to get all this stuff done as a working board. When I was kind of starting, like we didn't really we were still transitioning to you know, having the paid staff, and Maggie knew what she was doing, which is great. But there was a lot of things that we didn't have really as an organization yet. Like I don't know if I can say this, but like we didn't know where our mail was going for a while. You know, it's stuff like that. So I mean, you know, every nonprofit starts out in kind of small ways like that. And I think it's a testament to the staff, especially that you know, we've been able to you know, operationalize the organization in this way and really serve the community. But yeah, we you know, we still try to I think we still provide a lot of feedback, you know, to the staff. We never really stopped doing that. So it's been really a really great partnership.
Well, yeah, I agree. Like, I've been part of one of those early boards also with Ian and others. Yeah, it was a whole different way of kind of thinking about the work to be done. It's like basically all us organizing State of the Map US and all these things. But it's great that we're able to, if you look at the OpenStreetMap US website today, all the stuff that's going on, it's incredible. We would have never been able to do it as a working board way back in the day. So yeah, thanks for that. We only have a few minutes, but I really wanted to ask both of you to, like, you've both made significant contributions. Minh, you as part of the Americana Map, Wikimedia. Ian, you and your capacity as an organizer, software developer, and all these things. What are some of the things that you take away from the early days and want to see continued in OpenStreetMap today? And also, like, what would you say to folks who are new to OSM and would really like to make a lasting impact? So what are some of the things that come to mind for that, just maybe to close out?
Martijn, I think you should answer that one. I think something that I was going to say was like things like Map Roulette. are things that I want to see continue to happen. And so I think I'd be interested to hear, like, from you, what compels you to continue working on map roulette? Like, for example, my answer to you would have been, I want more people doing things like map roulette, small work project kind of things, small things that people are passionate about to improve OpenStreetMap, and then map roulette is one of those things.
Yeah, thanks for reflecting that back on me. I think like map roulette started as a scratch your own itch type thing, right? So I wanted something to be better in OSM, and I feel a little need that I had, and I started coding something, and it ended up being successful or being useful to people, and I think that's really important to have that grassroots, so to say. Yeah, what you can call it, the grassroots feeling of the project, where anyone can feel empowered to, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start this, I think this project needs this, and I'm going to make it. It's not coming from the top. It's not coming from external people and big organizations. It's in the end, the OSM is just coming from the people who are on the ground and fixing the things, and so that's stuff that needs to happen. I agree with you. So I think that's really important, and I continue to be motivated by people being excited about using the things that I make and others make. So yeah, absolutely.
And I think that touches on what I think, I mean, I kind of miss about the early days, but also what I still see, and I really want the community to continue, which is sort of this spirit of experimentalism, just not, like I know we have all the answers, we have a lot of rules, we have a whole wiki, but like sometimes it's okay to break things, and just like try out new approaches, and maybe we just figure out how to manage that risk, but like we still have a whole world to map.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we'll have to, this is a really good note to leave it at. We only have a short amount of time. There's so many amazing speakers. But thank you, Maggie, for the opportunity. Thank Minh, and thanks Ian for joining me on this little stage. And I want to wish everyone a lot of fun in the coming day and days for Mapping USA. Have a good time, and thanks.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we'll all be on Slack, of course, so feel free to ask questions there over the course of the day.
Thanks, y'all.